Nobody was prepared for the chaos that suddenly erupted online. What started as a quiet, low-key night between Stefon Diggs and Young Miami quickly exploded into one of the most intense and unpredictable celebrity meltdowns in recent memory. At the center of all the drama was Cardi B, and according to sources, she didn't just react, she completely lost control. Reports suggest there were screaming voice notes, deleted posts, and alleged phone calls so intense that insiders say they would never be fully shared publicly. Fans immediately began questioning, did Cardi just reveal something that was never meant to be exposed? And from the way things unfolded, it seemed like she might have. Late in the evening, blurry footage started circulating across social media. At first, it was barely believable. In the clips, Stefon Diggs could be seen on one knee holding what appeared to be a diamond ring in front of Young Miami. At first, people assumed it was fake, a prank, a skit, or another viral stunt. But as clearer angles and audio began surfacing, it became obvious this was real, it was a genuine proposal. Within minutes of the clip going viral, Cardi B's social media activity shifted from quiet to explosive. Posts appeared and disappeared, cryptic tweets were sent, and voice messages emerged that fans claimed to have screen recorded before they vanished. One line in particular had everyone talking, "Some of y'all smiling now, but you don't even know what's coming." That line left fans confused and speculating. Was Cardi simply hurt, or was there something deeper, something darker, unfolding behind the scenes? Insiders suggested that jealousy alone could not explain her reaction. This was potentially about betrayal, secrets, and a connection among these three individuals that nobody had anticipated. If what people were hearing was true, then the proposal might not be the simple love story the public assumed. Instead, it could mark the beginning of something far more complicated and potentially dangerous. To understand why this night spiraled the way it did, it's important to look at the events leading up to it. This chaos didn't just appear out of nowhere. It had been building for months, perhaps even years, and almost no one noticed it before it erupted. Cardi B has never been the type to hold back her feelings. Her career has been built on being raw, unfiltered, and unapologetically honest. She has endured public relationships, messy breakups, explosive online feuds, and moments when she openly stated that loyalty is one of the most important values to her. For Cardi, being blindsided or disrespected is one of the fastest ways to push her over the edge. Young Miami, on the other hand, appeared for a long time to have a calm, neutral relationship with Cardi. They moved in the same circles, attended the same events, and were photographed at the same parties. On the surface, fans assumed there was mutual respect and perhaps even a quiet understanding between them. But behind closed doors, tensions reportedly existed. Insiders claimed there had been subtle signs for a while, comments that seemed pointed, social media likes that appeared intentional, and moments when one would leave an event the other attended. These were not explosive incidents, but they were enough to suggest a growing undercurrent of discomfort. Then there was Stefon Diggs. Unlike Cardi or Young Miami, he had previously kept a relatively private life, known for his success on the football field rather than for drama. He was charismatic, confident, and careful about revealing personal details compared to most celebrities. But over the past year, fans began noticing subtle interactions between him and Young Miami. At first, it was minor, a shared appearance at a party, a photo where they were in the same frame, or a comment on social media. People initially dismissed these as friendly gestures, but over time, they became harder to ignore. Diggs and Young Miami were increasingly seen together, appearing in the same places repeatedly. They weren't hiding, nor were they denying the interactions, which led fans to start connecting the dots. Meanwhile, Cardi was paying attention. Maybe she wasn't showing it publicly yet, but she was aware. Rumors had been circulating quietly, persistent and unconfirmed, suggesting that Cardi and Diggs may have had encounters or connections beyond casual ones. Nothing official, nothing verifiable, but enough to make the timing of Diggs and Young Miami's visible closeness suspicious. According to an insider, things came to a head weeks before the proposal footage surfaced. There had been a private, invitation-only event, no cameras allowed, attended by high-profile guests, and reportedly, all three individuals were present. At this event, witnesses said the energy shifted quickly. Cardi allegedly noticed something between Diggs and Young Miami: eye contact, body language, and a level of comfort that looked established rather than new. That moment, insiders claim, was pivotal. After that night, Cardi's social media began reflecting a subtle change. She posted messages about fake energy, people switching sides, and cryptic lines that didn't mention anyone by name but felt pointed and specific. At the time, fans interpreted these as vague celebrity rants. But now, in hindsight, they appeared more like warnings, signals that she had already perceived that something was going on. For months, nothing happened publicly. No direct confrontations, no confirmed drama, just tension simmering silently, waiting to boil over. Then came last night. When the proposal video went viral, Cardi didn't just react, she erupted. But heartbreak wasn't the only factor. According to current whispers, Cardi's reaction was deeper, tied to months of hidden events. If these rumors are even partially true, the proposal wasn't simply a romantic gesture, it was a public reveal of something that had been kept secret. Sources suggest that Cardi believed she had been lied to, not by one person, but by both Diggs and Young Miami. She felt blindsided, as if a narrative had been carefully orchestrated behind her back, and the proposal merely exposed it. The moment the video hit the internet, everything changed in seconds. Fans initially shared and reposted the clip, reacting as they normally would to a celebrity proposal. But within minutes, sharp-eyed viewers noticed Cardi B's unusual online activity. Her presence appeared sporadically, online, then offline, then online again. Shortly after, her first post appeared. It was brief, cryptic, and chilling: "I ain't even mad. I'm disgusted." The message was enough to ignite a frenzy. People questioned what she was referring to: the proposal, the relationship, or something deeper still? Then came a second post, which didn't last long before it was deleted, but thousands had screen recorded it. It read, "Y'all really playing people's faces like it's a game until the truth comes out." That line didn't sound like jealousy, it sounded like betrayal. Fans immediately shifted their focus, no longer celebrating Diggs and Young Miami, but wondering what truth Cardi was alluding to. Soon after, a leaked voice note emerged. Though unverified, it sounded like Cardi herself, speaking with a mixture of anger and hurt. "You was smiling in my face, knowing what was going on. Don't act brand new now. Don't do that." Questions erupted online: was she talking to Diggs? Miami? Or both? If the voice note was genuine, it suggested she had sensed something all along, something that had been deliberately concealed from her. Then a new clip surfaced from weeks prior, a party with dim lighting and loud music. Diggs and Miami were standing too close together, whispering, laughing, appearing unusually comfortable. In the background, Cardi could be seen across the room, watching. She wasn't smiling or approaching, she was simply observing. Fans began piecing together a timeline: the private event, subtle tensions, cryptic posts, the voice note, and now the proposal. Cardi's reaction no longer seemed random, it looked like a breaking point. According to sources, Cardi wasn't just upset about the proposal. She was angry about how long this had been happening, potentially months. She believed she had been lied to by both parties and that the proposal was a deliberate public reveal of a secret dynamic. Screenshots and leaked private messages later surfaced, adding more intrigue. One line read, "You promised me this wouldn't happen like this." Promised, suggesting Cardi expected something entirely different. Fans then dug deeper and uncovered older clips and photos. One resurfaced from a live session months ago where Cardi, laughing, said, "Some of y'all favorites be talking real crazy in private, but I don't entertain that unless it's worth my time." At the time, it seemed casual. Now, in the context of recent events, it appeared to foreshadow her awareness of something happening with Diggs and Miami. A private source claiming to work security at another event alleged that Cardi had confronted someone in a heated, emotional discussion months ago, with Miami present and unyielding. These revelations suggested that the tension hadn't started the night of the proposal, it had been simmering for months. Other evidence, including photographs showing Diggs in the background of events Cardi attended, indicated a history of interaction that went unnoticed until now. One photo even captured a moment where Cardi and Diggs appeared to look directly at each other, not like strangers, but like people who already knew one another. Then a screenshot of a group chat emerged, allegedly from people close to all three parties, containing the line, "This wasn't supposed to go public like this." Not yet. Fans speculated endlessly about whether there was a plan or timeline intended to manage how the situation unfolded. Everything, the live session comment, the private confrontation, the party footage, the cryptic posts, the voice note, and finally the proposal, suddenly connected, revealing a complex narrative of secrecy, betrayal, and carefully concealed relationships. The story had grown from a single viral clip to a multi-layered saga involving public reveals, cryptic warnings, alleged private confrontations, and months of simmering tension. Cardi B's reaction, initially viewed as emotional and unpredictable, now appeared calculated, a response to months of manipulation and hidden truths. Fans, insiders, and observers alike were left piecing together the chronology, questioning motives, and waiting to see what would unfold next in a drama that showed no signs of slowing down. The combination of public spectacle, private secrets, and raw emotion had created a perfect storm, one that has captivated the internet and shows just how intense celebrity dynamics can become when unspoken truths finally surface. The moment everything went viral, the story stopped being just about a proposal or a romantic gesture. Suddenly, it became a complex web of tension, control, and questions about who was really in charge of the narrative. People began asking, who truly disrupted the plan? Was it Stefon Diggs by proposing publicly? Was it Young Miami by accepting it? Or was it Cardi B herself, whose reaction changed everything in an instant? This situation was no longer about heartbreak or jealousy, it became a story about power, secrecy, and timing. As the situation unfolded, Cardi B did something that shook the internet to its core. Without warning, she went live. There was no announcement, no build-up, just suddenly she appeared on camera. Her expression was serious, her energy intense. For a moment, she didn't speak. She just stared, as if weighing the consequences of saying something she might not be able to take back. Then she leaned in and dropped a line that immediately sent fans into a frenzy. She said, "Y'all keep thinking this is about a man, and that's why you're missing the whole point." Those words changed the conversation entirely. If this wasn't about a man, then what was she trying to reveal? If the proposal itself wasn't the core issue, and if Stefon Diggs wasn't the main focus, then the real story was hidden beneath layers of misunderstanding and speculation. The internet exploded with questions. People were trying to figure out what exactly she meant. Was this about control, trust, betrayal, or something far bigger that hadn't yet been uncovered? Immediately, social media divided into two camps. On one side were loyal fans defending Cardi fiercely. They flooded comment sections and threads, insisting she knew something the rest of the world didn't. "This isn't jealousy," they said. "It's about disrespect. She's reacting because something real happened behind the scenes." These were fans who had followed her career for years. They pointed to her past actions, her instincts, and the way she responded whenever she felt wronged. According to them, this wasn't just an emotional outburst, it was a reaction to something deeper, something far more serious than a viral proposal. On the other side were critics who were equally loud, equally harsh. They mocked Cardi, saying she was overreacting, spiraling unnecessarily, and inserting herself into a situation that didn't involve her. Posts went viral, claiming, "Cardi always inserts herself where she doesn't belong. This isn't betrayal, it's obsession." People were debating whether it made sense to become emotionally invested in someone else's public moment. Was she reacting reasonably, or was this all about losing control? The narrative had shifted from a romantic moment to a full-blown social media war. Then celebrities began reacting, subtly at first. A tweet here, a comment there, and suddenly the industry was speaking in codes. One anonymous artist tweeted, "Some people act shocked when karma shows up, but they forget what they did in the dark." Everyone started trying to decode what that meant. Was it aimed at Cardi, Stefon Diggs, Young Miami, or someone else entirely? Another public figure posted, "Everybody doesn't tell their side right away. Sometimes silence is strategy." People immediately began to wonder, was this about Young Miami, whose silence during all of this was deafening? Young Miami had not said a word. No posts, no responses, no denials. That silence only intensified speculation. People began asking why she wasn't addressing Cardi directly if everything was innocent. Why not clarify publicly to stop the drama from spreading? Her absence of explanation allowed the internet to construct its own theories. Some defended her, saying she didn't owe anyone an explanation for living her life. Others argued that silence doesn't equal innocence, it often suggests guilt. Then there was Stefon Diggs, the man at the center of the chaos, whose decision to go public with the proposal sparked the entire chain of events. And yet, he remained completely silent. While Cardi's reactions went viral and fans dug through every piece of content, Stefon didn't issue a statement, clarify, or respond at all. According to insiders, his silence may have been deliberate. One source claimed, he knew exactly what this would do, how it would look, and he did it anyway. The implication was chilling. Perhaps he anticipated Cardi's reaction, or maybe he understood that this public display would expose underlying tensions and force secrets into the open. His choice to propose in such a public way shifted attention from romance to controversy, raising the question, was this accidental, or was it planned? If the entire situation was orchestrated, then it begged the question of who benefited. Fans, celebrities, insiders, and even casual observers were all caught up in the chaos. Old clips resurfaced, social media threads exploded, and every cryptic comment was analyzed. Each new piece of information only increased the tension. Just when people thought they had the story figured out, another leak appeared, turning everything on its head. This latest revelation suggested that the real drama wasn't the proposal at all. According to the source, the proposal wasn't the betrayal, it was the cover. Suddenly, the public spectacle might have been a distraction from something far more serious happening behind the scenes. The same insider claimed that Cardi's reaction wasn't about the relationship itself. It was about an earlier betrayal, something that involved trust being broken on a completely different level. There was allegedly an agreement made privately, unspoken but understood among certain people, regarding how events would be handled, who would be involved, and most importantly, who would not be blindsided. That agreement was allegedly broken in a way that forced a private situation into the public spotlight, leaving Cardi to react as though it came out of nowhere when, in reality, it had been building for months. The live video she shared suddenly made perfect sense. When she said, "Y'all keep thinking this is about a man," she was referring not to the proposal itself, but to the deeper issues of control, trust, and broken agreements. The drama wasn't about love, it was about being blindsided and publicly humiliated in a situation she had expected to remain private. Her cryptic line had been misinterpreted at first, but now, in context, it hit differently. It wasn't about a man. It was about betrayal, about deals that were violated, and about secrets that were meant to stay hidden. Then another clip surfaced, showing a brief moment during one of her previous live sessions. In this version, she almost said something revealing before the broadcast abruptly cut. She began, "If I really tell y'all what happened that night," and then silence. No explanation, no continuation, nothing. That single unfinished sentence set the internet on fire. People were now not just wondering what happened, they were speculating about what she was about to reveal. Which night was she referring to? What private event? What confrontation? And why did the video stop at that precise moment? Was it intentional? Did someone intervene? Or did she realize that speaking too openly could expose something far more significant than anyone anticipated? As fans pieced together the timeline, the situation became increasingly complex. The private event, her cryptic posts, the resurfaced party footage, the voice notes, and the viral proposal all connected in ways that suggested a story far bigger than anyone had initially imagined. Each element pointed to the same conclusion: this wasn't a sudden outburst, it was the breaking point of a situation that had been simmering for months, possibly even years. And the silence from both Young Miami and Stefon Diggs only intensified the suspense. By saying nothing, they allowed the internet to run wild with speculation, making every cryptic post, every old clip, and every voice note more significant than it would have seemed otherwise. The leaks continued, each one adding a new layer of intrigue. Screenshots of private conversations appeared, revealing messages that suggested promises had been made and then broken. One line in particular stood out, "Y'all arguing over the wrong story." The proposal wasn't the betrayal. It was the cover. This suggested that the public spectacle was a strategic move, a way to divert attention while the real issues remained hidden. Cardi's reaction wasn't just emotional, it was a response to a much deeper, more intricate situation that involved trust, manipulation, and control. Ultimately, the story became more than just a viral celebrity moment. It turned into a battle over narrative control. Who would get to tell the story? Who would be seen as the victim, and who would be accused of deception? Fans took sides. Some rallied behind Cardi, believing she was exposing the truth. Others criticized her for reacting publicly, convinced she was creating chaos where none was necessary. Meanwhile, the silence from Young Miami and Stefon Diggs left people questioning whether there was more to the story than anyone could yet see. As of now, the situation is far from over. Each leak, each cryptic post, and each resurfaced clip adds more confusion and intrigue. If Cardi decides to finally finish her sentence and tell the full story of that night, it could reveal things that would shock the public, possibly changing the way we see all three individuals involved. The drama isn't just unfolding online, it's a complex, multi-layered saga of secrets, betrayal, and carefully timed revelations, and everyone watching knows that this is just the beginning. Fans are left to wonder, will the truth ever fully come out, and when it does, who will be on top, and who will be left exposed? Right now, the story is far from resolved. Every detail matters, every reaction is dissected, and every silence speaks volumes. Cardi B's live appearance, the cryptic posts, Stefon Diggs' proposal, and Young Miami's silence have turned what could have been a simple engagement story into one of the most dramatic, confusing, and potentially explosive celebrity moments in recent memory. And the biggest question remains, when the full story finally emerges, who will be the real victor, who will be the real victim, and who has been manipulating events all along?